What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Counterpunch breakdown. If you're new to these, my name is Lucas. The man on my side, his name is Rohan. UFC 317 International Fight Week. We are here. And yeah, I mean, it's crazy. This is a great main card. Prelims, wouldn't call it great, but there are some fun fights. I'm looking forward to this card very much. First of all, before I introduce Rohan, my guy over here, we apologize for the last 2 weeks. UFC Atlanta, UFC Azerbaijan. I mean, I feel like those are the two biggest cards we've ever missed. Just because we've both been so fucking busy. But we're here now, UFC 317. I think it's safe to say we're back. Rohan, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm stuck in Connecticut at work right now. You know, I'm an intern for the WWE this summer, so I'm in Connecticut in Stamford, but the train back home was delayed because of the heat. Some crazy heat this summer, bro. I mean, this is insane, but I'm good. I'm doing well. I'm very excited for this card, man. 317. I think this is one of the biggest fights that we've had in a while. Obviously, a huge fight for the future of two divisions, and I'm just so excited for the card. But yeah, how about you, bro? How you doing?
I'm good, man. You know, this heat is just horrible. I've been outside a lot, not against my will, but it's okay. We try to power through. I think it feels like it's 110 right now, which is fucking insane.
Yeah, it's oppressive heat. That's what I keep telling everybody, bro. This is offensive heat. It's really just not nice, bro. I'm walking to work. I'm in the subway, sweating my ass off. I gotta wear a different shirt to work, and then it's a whole ordeal, man. This is really bad. But at least we got some UFC on Saturday, so we can sweat that out, man. It's a fun card in Vegas, right? They're back in Vegas, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, International Fight Week. It's gonna be a good one. We got to get this show on the road because Rohan and I both have to be places. I don't want you guys to think that this will be shorter because that we just got to get it started. So let's go. My boy, first of all, my boy FBA. Let's go, boys. Missed out for the ATL breakdown, but it was hype and I profited. I know my boy FBA was there, and we promised that we'd stream for that, but it just didn't. We've just been. I'm sorry, FBA. Shit
Last
comes
minute,
in Azerbaijan too, which sucked, but it is what it is. Tate says, "Let's go by some day." Shout out my guy Tate, bro. The goat. All right, let's get the show on the road. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to get this going. And, yeah, let's break down this card. We've got UFC 317. First fight on the card, we've got Nico Price and Jacoby Smith. Jacoby Smith, minus 1,400 according to Tapology. Currently, minus 2,500. I think it's fair. Call me crazy. I think it's fair. As long as you have 3 rounds of cardio to match Nico Price and you're a UFC fighter, you're gonna win. And not only that, not only is Jacoby Smith not only is Jacoby Smith a UFC fighter, he's really good. I think this guy is really fucking good. Contender Series fight, one of the most impressive Contender Series fights I think I've ever seen. Popped his opponent's knee with wrestling, which is insane. Hit like a sick move. That was a great win on the Contender Series for him. Fights Preston Parsons, shows that he has clean hands as well, puts him unconscious. Jacoby Smith, I think, is going to be really good. I think he's a future top 10 fighter. And yeah, Nico Price is done. Lost to Themba in his last fight. He beat Alex Morono in a very close fight. It was just, that's Alex Morono. The Battle of Wash got sparked by Robbie Lawler. I mean, his chin's gone. He's going to get out wrestled here. Jacoby Smith, I don't see how Nico Price wins this fight in any way, shape, or form. So we'll take Smith in this one. There's nothing. I don't really know how you bet this stuff.
No, it's really kind of unbettable. I'm seeing like minus 1,800 some places. I mean, this is gotta kind of getting out of hand, but like you said, it makes sense. This guy, he's an athletic freak, and what's scary about him is like his striking. It's not as good as his wrestling, but you can see the potential, and you can see obviously the sheer power that he's got. Man, he is a force. And you said top 10. I think, man, in that welterweight division, we saw the run that somebody like Kamaru went on with that kind of same, big framed, I'm just going to out wrestle you type of mentality. He can not only do that, but then has the hands to back it up. Yeah, this guy, he's going to be a problem. And Nico Price in 2025, he's an auto fade, but even more so right here. I mean, this is, like you just said, how does he win this fight? I have no idea. I can't tell you how that would happen. So I just predicted demolition within 1 round. Honestly, I think is pretty safe. Yeah, Smith inside the distance.
Yeah, bang. That's all we have to say is minus 2,500 for a reason. Let's move on Gervonta Denise versus Alvin Hines. I'm going to keep it 100% honest. I have not looked into this fight at all. I was going to do it today, and then Rohan wanted to get the show on the road now, which I low-key needed to do as well. And we had to make this happen now, and I unfortunately was not able to tape Alvin Hines. I know who Gervonta Denise is. I think he's improving rapidly. I think he's got great striking. I don't know about Alvin Hines. So, Rohan, I want you to break this down. And while you do that, I'm going to listen and I'm going to watch like one Alvin Hines fight. So go ahead. I don't want it to make it seem like we're not reliable. I like never do this ever. Sorry, I happened to miss this fight. So talk to us. You're muted. You are muted. Hello?
Yo, my bad. Did not realize. Sorry. As I was saying, I think this might be a spot where we can potentially look at fading Jonathan Denise, just because I feel like, stylistically, this is not the best matchup for him. Alvin Hines is somebody, I mean, if you just watch a few of his regional scene fights, you'll see, I mean, this guy does not stop coming forward. I mean, he puts unrelenting pressure on his opponents. And I mean, he does throw wild shots. You can't say that he's the most technical guy, because he's not. And I think Jonathan Denise will definitely be the sharper striker in there. But I mean, this guy's fights in the he's coming from the LFA, which I rate as a highly touted organization outside of the UFC. I mean, a lot of prospects from there do very well just because of the striking, the level that you have to be at in that division. I think he has passable striking, but it's just the pressure. He does not stop coming forward. He loves the clinch game. I mean, he will wear on you as long as he needs to make you tired. And I just think that this is a spot where Jonathan Denise, we're not really sure about his all-around game. I mean, it was a weird fight against Topuria. Obviously, the doctor stoppage. He did have some success, but not much. And that's Topuria in, this state where I think he's kind of on the decline now. Win over Carl Williams. What does that say? Carl Williams is kind of, a one-trick pony. Doesn't have the best striking at all. Austin Lane, we know how bad Austin Lane can be. So yeah, I just don't really rate any of his wins that highly. And I'm looking at a guy like Alvin Hayes. He's undefeated. If I am, undefeated 5-0 or 7-0, excuse me. And I think, this might be a spot where, I mean, at this price tag, I really don't see the reason for him to be as big of an underdog as plus 250. I'm seeing some places. Yeah, I don't agree with that at all.
I'm going to have to disagree with you. I think Denise gets it done. Just watched a little bit of Haynes, not a lot. I am obviously going to look into this much, much more. As mentioned, I don't usually come unprepared or try my best not to. But I do feel like Heinz's level, you talk about Denise's level of competition. I just saw a few of Heinz's fights. I mean, he's fighting cans, in my opinion. And I think Denise, I think this is going to be way too big of a step up in competition. I think Denise, I think he took too big of a step up in competition going from Carl Williams to Tybura. But at the same time, I think that Carl Williams performance was very impressive because he was able to defend the takedowns. This guy's a really high-level striker, and the fact that he was able to defend the takedowns from a guy like Carl Williams, who we've seen can wrestle for 15 minutes at heavyweight, which is an impressive thing. The fact that he was able to win that fight clearly, impressive to me. I'm not going to hold that Tybura fight against him too much. Showed his fucking toughness. I think if he's tough here, I think he can defend takedowns. I think he can outstrike Hines. I think it's levels, to be honest. But I want to look into it way more, so take that with a grain of salt. But I think it's fair what I'm saying because he's a big favorite. I don't know. Is anything I'm saying crazy? I'm going to ask you that because I have
no. It's not crazy. I definitely. I mean, like, I'm not going to hide from the fact that Denise is the more technical guy. I mean, he is a proven UFC caliber fighter, and Alvin Hayes is not yet. But I just think that the stylistic matchup here might just get to Denise because, I mean, Carl Williams, yes, while he was doing a good job of defending the takedowns, he has zero striking and really isn't a threat at all. I think just the amount of pressure that he will put on Denise throughout the entire 15 minutes might end up being a problem. He might just test his cardio a bit in this one, but at the end of the day, no, you're definitely right to say that Denise has the advantage on the feet. If this is a distance striking fight, I mean, you're picking Denise all day because he's fought in Glory Kickboxing. He's fought in the Netherlands against some of these guys. I think he fought like even Rico Verhoeven or some shit like that. He's fought some really good stand-up fighters. So I'm not questioning his ability up there. I just think that, I don't know. I feel like the pressure might get to him in the end in a 3-round fight because I don't think that he has the ability to really knock out Hines. That's the other thing. I mean, we really haven't seen Hines when at least the fights that I was watching, he wasn't in danger at all. And it's not like he's fighting these guys that are on the level of Denise. But again, you said how he took a step up. I think Carl Williams kind of, tier is more where Denise fits in. I don't think that he's a real contender. Neither is Hines, from what I've seen. But still, I just think that the line might be a little bit wide,
Fair. I'm not going to argue. I just said my piece. I just really want to look into this more. For now, I'll go Denise. Rohan's going Hines. If you like that, he's a pretty big dog. So go ahead and look at it. We got Ishan saying, we're just trying to imagine some scenarios to keep it exciting, but we all know most likely Charles will get KO'd. Also, Jai Shri Krishna, Rohan. Do you know what that means?
I mean, I know that Krishna is like an Indian. I am half Indian.
So Indian.
Testing my Indian right now. I don't know, bro. I don't know how I feel about that, but I hope that's a positive message. And
put a prayer emoji next to it.
Exactly. I'm doing it right back at you, bro.
All right, let's move on. Next fight on the card, we've got the greatest MMA fighter to step on this planet ever is Cedric Dumas. All jokes aside, I cashed one of my biggest bets of all time against him, Mikhail Zakszuk. Probably one of my best bets ever. He should have been minus 1,000 there. He was minus 170, at least when I bet him. Dumas is plus 145 in this one. I think he loses because he's Cedric Dumas. That is my breakdown. I think he's probably the worst middleweight, one of the worst middleweights in the last decade to ever grace this organization. That's my breakdown.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a crazy thing to say. I think that these odds might get a little wider as the week goes on, but I do think this is a McVay spot. And it's just like Dumas, man, he's not even that bad on the feet. That's the thing. I mean, he is, but he's not. Like, he has the weapons, but he doesn't scare me enough to trust him in this spot. I mean, I think there's a really big gap in levels on the ground, obviously. McVay, I mean, you look at his tape, this guy is really, I mean, he just snatches up your neck from whatever angle he's at. He is very, very good at finding his opponent's neck. He loves the guillotines. He loves the darts. So you get those anytime you give him a chance. And Dumas was submitted by guillotine recently. I think it was to, who was that against? You got to remind me. I forgot. But I do remember a guillotine loss on his resume. That's one of McVay's go-to chokes. I think that, yeah, once this fight hits the ground, which it probably will, because I mean, like, McVay is not a polished striker by any means, but neither is Dumas. So I think, he'll probably be able to implement his will and get this fight to the ground at some point, McVay. And yeah, I just can't trust Dumas as once this fight hits the ground. So I'd pick McVay by submission here. That'd be my straight pick.
Yeah. What's his name? Josh Fremd guillotine the fuck out
Josh
of him.
Fremd. Oh, Lord have mercy. If you're letting Fremd do that to you, man, this guy has got some pretty nasty jiu-jitsu compared to him. So I would say, yeah.
FBA says Dumas will put McVay in the dog cage. You know about that? About how he got arrested and he hit in like a dog cage, I think.
That's part of the Dumas lore right there, bro. Of course I remember.
He's the greatest. He's the greatest fighter ever.
He's got such an interesting backstory, I think he's a misunderstood. I think that's all it is.
He's misunderstood. I like that right there. I like that. Misunderstood. Cedric Dumas. Let's move on. Terrence McKinney versus Vyacheslav Borshev. I think that McKinney wins this fight early. Round 1 knockout, most likely. The odds, he's minus 170. I'm curious. I haven't looked at the odds on this yet. What is his round 1 knockout? McKinney in round 1, plus 140, actually. I don't understand why you'd bet McKinney money line when McKinney round 1 is a thing. I mean, I think McKinney wins this fight in round 1. I think this fight finishes most likely under 1.5, but I think McKinney wins in round 1. Borshev is a very, very suspect chin. Says he's 33 here. He is not 33. He's probably 10 years older than that, maybe even 20. McKinney hits hard as fuck. And in the first 2.5 minutes, this guy is a fucking problem. I think McKinney ends this in under 0.5 rounds. And that reminds me, I kind of like, what is the line on under 0.5? Because I think McKinney gets this done fast.
I don't mind that.
And if it escapes that 2 minutes, 30 seconds, it's Borshev all day, every day. But what's the line? That's what I need to know. I don't think it's probably not out yet. No, it's not. But I do feel like Borshev gets this done. I mean, McKinney finishes him early just because He's so dangerous early. Borshev is super chinny, one of the chinniest fighters in the organization right now. Yeah, I think McKinney starches him early. But if he escapes, it's Borshev, all day, every day. So this is definitely a live bet situation. If you like Borshev, do not bet him pre. That would make no sense.
Agreed there for sure. Terrence McKinney, though, man, what a weird prospect. But yeah, I mean, he's never gone to decision in his UFC career. He's had a long UFC career at this point. I mean, he's been in the organization since 2021. But you look at his losses, man, it's the same story every single time. They're all against guys that just will out pressure him and will come forward against him and make him, the one that has to react. And that's never a good spot for Terrence McKinney. That's what Esteban Ribovic did to him. That's what Ismail Bonfim did to him. That's what Drew Dober ended up doing to him in the end, although he had a chance to finish Drew Dober. Somehow the worst loss on his resume is Nazim Sadikov by rear naked, which, I mean, I watched that back. He literally just turned around and gave him his back. I don't know what that was, but honestly, this is just a perfect spot for Terrence McKinney. Borshev, recently submitted for the first time by Chase Hooper. That is Chase Hooper, but McKinney's got some nasty jiu-jitsu, and he has the power. You mentioned the suspect chin. I think there's multiple ways for Terrence McKinney to get this fight done, whether he wants to implement the wrestling right away, get this fight to the ground, and chase that sub, or whether he wants to just stand and bang, because I think he is the much more powerful guy here. Borshev, I think his power is fading. His, reaction time is slowing. I can't trust him in this spot. I think this is a really good spot for Terrence McKinney, and I would get this bet in now before. I think his line is going to boom as well. I think he's a clear favorite this week for sure.
Yeah, McKinney round one. Again, I wouldn't bet the money line at all. I think that's horrible, but I think round one is the bet for sure.
And honestly, yeah, no, I don't see Borshev getting out of round one, because like if this fight hits the ground, I think Terrence is just gonna unload. I don't think he's even gonna look for the ground and pound. He'll just wrap up the neck immediately. Like, Borshev does not really scare me at this point in his career. So yeah, 100% inside the distance, inside round one. That under half a round, I love that as well. Honestly, I could see this being in the first 2 minutes of the fight.
100% agreed. Next fight we've got Viviane Araujo versus Tracy Cortez.
Man, I got a strong take on this one, man.
Oh,
I'm not gonna, bro. These odds make zero sense to me. I mean, what has Tracy Cortez done to make people think that she should be minus almost 300 against Viviane Araujo? I get that she's old, but she just beat Karine Silva as a plus 240 underdog, in which a fight where she showed her heart, she showed her grit in the third round, won the third round on all three judges' scorecards. And you're telling me she's plus 240 against Cortez? That is insane to me. I'm sorry. I just think that, yes, the age discrepancy is a factor, but it's the only factor that would make this line be, have any sort of merit. I think Araujo still has decent enough striking to hang with, if not do better work than Cortez down the stretch. I mean, Cortez is a wrestler at her heart, and I don't think she's gonna have an easy time getting takedowns against Araujo. She didn't even give him up that easily against Karine Silva, who might be, on the same level, if not better than Cortez on the ground. So I really do not understand this line. I would look at this fight objectively if I'm just looking at it without any knowledge of the odds. It's a pick'em. It's like, I could see it going either way. It's definitely going to a decision, because that's all Viviane Araujo does. She's a decisionator to the max. And I just don't understand why she would be plus 240. So just based on that alone, I think that's worth a bet. But I mean, I don't know if I'd outright pick her, but I cannot believe those odds. So yeah, I think she's a strong bet. But yeah, fuck it. I'll go Araujo 2 rounds to 1, because that's a very high, very, very live outcome for sure. I don't understand.
Yeah, this line's nuts. I agree with you. Yeah, I agree. I'm not going to say much outside of, I think this line's wide. What has Cortez done? I mean, that's a fact. I mean, I guess that Jazz Davicius win is a very good look. But styles make fights. She was able to not let Jazz Davicius get in and just kind of picked her apart. I think Araujo is a completely different fight. She's coming off a great win against Karine Silva. That was an incredible win. Silva, I was very high on Silva, and she, just outdogged her. It was a very close fight that went to the scorecards, but the fact that was practically a 50-50 fight was impressive, in my opinion. I think Araujo was just way too grizzled here. I think Cortez might suffer back-to-back losses. I don't know. It's a tough fight to call, but I do feel like this line is kind of insane. Sorry, my cat is over there fucking tweaking out. I hope he's going on his bed. Okay, yeah, I like Araujo as a bet. pick wise, I'm not sure, but I think this line, close to minus 300 is fucking nuts.
Yeah, for sure. I would just bet it just based on the line. I don't even care if she wins at that point because you're getting so much value just looking at that price. So, yeah, agreed.
Sorry, my cat.
Rocky's distracting.
You want to take a visit? Look at him. He's tweaking out over here. What are you doing? Hey.
Rah, geez. What's he up to? Hey, he's always on that couch, bro. Always on that couch.
Loves this. Hey, come here. You good boy. Hey, you're good boy. You're good boy. Yeah, you good boy. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna let him go to bed. Let's move on. You go to bed, all right, Baba? See you later. Here we go. Next fight. What do we got? Please, no women. I love women, but not in MMA fights. We've got Hyder Emil versus Jose Delgado. This is actually a great fight. I honestly don't know where Jose Delgado is. Like, he sparked Connor Matthews. That doesn't prove anything, though. Connor Matthews is like, okay, but he looked really good, really clean in that one. I think Emil puts on one of the craziest paces we've ever seen in the UFC. I mean, this guy does not get tired. He fucking goes. And I think he can. It's difficult because I don't know if we've really seen Delgado's cardio get tested. I mean, he lost a decision. That was 2 years ago. But he's had multiple round 3 finishes. So it's really tough to see where he is. But I think Emil is just, I mean, the pace he puts on is just off the charts. What is the line? Wow, Emil's a big dog. Not a big dog, but he's a sizable dog. Plus 145 is kind of crazy. Again, this is one I want to look into a little bit more. I want to do a little bit more research on Delgado because there is a world where Emil just gets sniped and dies in round 1. But man, I mean, Emil puts on an insane pace. This is tough, but I think this line is slightly off. I think I like Emil here.
Yeah, this one's one of the tougher fights on the card. This one, and we'll get to it later, but this one, I just, it's tough. Like, you just laid it out. I mean, Emil, he doesn't even give you the space to really work because he's just in your face all the time and just really throwing constantly. He does not stop throwing punches. It's kind of crazy the way he fights. But on the other hand, you know, Jose Delgado does prefer to be on the offensive as well. Like, he's another one that, you know, prefers to put pressure on his opponents. But Hyder Emil, wasn't he a big underdog against William Gomi? And I know you picked him, right?
Emil?
He was an underdog in that one. I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember if I bet him there.
But regardless, I mean, he showed it. I think he impressed quite a few people in that one against William Gomi. I do remember that he was the underdog there. And I just think that, yeah, man, this is another spot where I feel like he just might outwork his opponent late, like he's, you know, often does. And this is a spot where, like, I like Jose Delgado's striking arsenal. I think, you know, he does leave his chin open at times, which is, you know, something I worry about, but so does Hyder Emil. I mean, it's not like he's out there protecting his face at all times. No, he's throwing punches, and so is Delgado. They both like to just unload, and they can give a fuck if they get hit or not. So I think that's just a recipe for an absolute war in this fight. But who would I favor? It's really tough to call, man. I do think that this goes later. I think that both chins can hold up, you know, until the second and third round. And I think, yeah, Emil might just start to wear on him late just by you know, continuing with that relentless pressure that he's got. But I don't know. This is a tough one. I do not have a strong pick, but the lean would maybe be Emil. Honestly, I have no idea. I gotta see a bit more from Delgado to have a real strong take on him. So it's tough.
Yeah. You got Cole saying, it's been a while, boys. Hope you're doing well and enjoyed 316.
Yes, sir, Cole, my boy. Oh, he's going to 3. Where's 319? Is that Chicago? That's the Chicago one, right?
What's the price on those? I feel like it's probably nuts.
I don't know. But that's a great card. That's Duplessis Shemaev. Oh my days. That's a great card, bro.
The rest of the card is horrible though.
Oh, is it? Is it fully announced though? Or they announced the whole thing yet?
Kind of. Yeah, damn. Cheapest ticket's $500. Holy shit.
God damn.
Yeah, that main event is amazing though.
Oh my gosh.
When is 317 press conference happening?
Thursday.
Every Thursday is when Thursdays is when the pay-per-view press conferences happen. Cannonier MVP is good. That's a good fight.
Yeah, I do like that fight. I like that.
I think MVP cooks him, no, to be fair. Unless
Yeah,
if Jared wrestles, if Jared wrestles, I think Jared can win.
if he wrestles, I don't even know if he can wrestle the way he wants to against MVP. Is so hard though. I don't know, man. I do think I would lean MVP just based on how hard it is to get a read on that guy, bro. It's crazy.
All right, let's move on. Next fight, we got to kind of get this moving a little more. Hermanson Rodriguez. Interesting one. What is the current line? The current line, wow, Rodriguez up to minus 220.
This is a tough one.
I think Rodriguez wins, but is that deserved? Minus 220. That is tough. That is really tough. I think, yeah, I think it's deserved. No, I don't. I think Hermanson could win. It's just tough. Well, how would he win, though?
I think just a 3-rounder. Like he just does. I mean, this is a guy. He doesn't really slow down at the same rate as a lot of the guys in his division. He can hold up late, and that's what he did to Piper. I mean, he just outworked him. Joe wasn't ready for that fight, but still, I think he was just constantly, putting shots on him. And I don't even like the way he defends. Like, I hate it. And I think that Rodriguez, of all people, could expose it because one tough shot to that chin, the way Hermanson keeps his guard up there. I mean, Rodriguez is not just going to let you walk him down. He doesn't do that. I mean, we saw that up until, the Cannonier fight got a little, reversed on him. But I just think that this might be a good spot for Gregory Rodriguez. Yeah, the line might be a little wide just because, if Hermanson somehow tries, what do you think of the wrestling in this fight? Because Hermanson, he does make good use of his offensive wrestling, but I think Rodriguez probably doesn't let him get there in this fight.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think wrestling will really be a thing here for
So if this is a stand-up fight for 3 rounds, I have to favor Rodriguez. Right? Is that the wrong way to think about this? Because I think
I agree. But at the same time, like Piper wasn't really able to do anything to Hermanson. What's really tough to read for me is Hermanson's defense. Like we've seen against Marvin Vettori, like he just shells up and kind of crumbles. Even though he didn't get finished, he kind of crumbles. But against Piper, he just he made it happen after round 1. He kind of cooked him after round 1. This is a 3-round fight. Rodriguez hits hard as fuck. He's good everywhere. He's probably learned a lot from that Cannonier fight. He's tough as fucking shit. I think Rodriguez probably wins. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're just thinking about like who's more likely to finish the fight, I think it's Rodriguez. So just based on that, I'm gonna pick him. But it's tough. And Jack does tend to just surprise you sometimes. So I wouldn't be shocked. But yeah, Rodriguez is gonna be the lean there for me.
Agreed. Let's move on. We've got Talbot Lima, first fight on the main card. This is a fucking sick fight. Oh my god, this is a great fight.
Yeah,
and I think Lima wins, but I think this line is slightly off. Where is he right now? Minus 210. I think is crazy. I think that you can't count out Talbot because that one fight against somebody that's so high level like Barcelos. Barcelos is really good. He's really good on the ground, and he's the definition of a grizzled vet. Like that guy's a really good fighter. And Lima, we can't forget that Lima hasn't really proved me much yet. I mean, I think the kid's really good, and I still think he wins this fight because he's really good everywhere. But he hasn't proved me anything in the UFC. He beat Muhammad Naimov after dropping the first 2 rounds pretty clearly, and then just pulls off a sub, which was awesome. But first 2 rounds, I know he took on super short notice, but I don't know. And then he dominates Miles Johns, and I bet on him against Miles Johns, but Miles Johns has never really been anything to me. It hasn't really meaned anything to me. I think Miles Johns for a while was pretty overrated. I think this is an auto Talbot bet. You have to bet him here because it's not like Lima has some elite wrestling and has some elite control. I think he's really good submission game, and I think he's a very talented fighter. But I think Talbot plus 160 is kind of crazy here for somebody that's still super young. We've seen win impressively multiple times. I think that Peyton Talbot's live here as an underdog. I'm not saying he's going to win. I think this is a very close fight. I'd probably line it around minus 130 to Lima. I definitely wouldn't line at minus 210. So might bet Talbot here. I want to think about it a little more, do a little more research, but that's what I think.
Man, it's tough. This is really tough. And yeah, the line is a little wide just because, Lima is very good, but you cannot deny that Talbot's a better striker. He's like full stop. He's the better striker, right? And full stop, Lima is the better grappler, but the fight starts on the feet. Each round starts on the feet, and that's advantage Peyton in my eyes, right? This is tough though, because I mean, I was in the arena for that.
Yeah, look what Cole said. You and him and Rohan.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, we were there, and that was a hard watch because it wasn't like, and Raoni Barcelos says, like, yes, he's an amazing fighter, but he didn't really threaten with anything. It was just like he knew the game plan. Like, his coaches told him, yo, take him down and he won't do anything. And that's exactly what he did over and over and over. He just took him down, and he did enough on the ground to leave the judges out of it and just kind of just held him there. And Peyton just couldn't move, and it was hard to watch because he would work his way up to his knee. It would look like he was about to get back up, and then he just get dragged right back down. It's like, dude, you gotta learn some sort of fence get up game. It was tough. It was tough to watch, but you've got to assume that he's working on it, and he's been working on it since then, especially given that he's had this matchup on his calendar. He knows what Lima brings to the table. Man, it's tempting. It's definitely tempting to go Peyton Talbot at those odds, because you saw what he did to a guy in Cameron Simon who also kind of had that ability to just overwhelm with pressure, and he kind of shut him down. So if Lima is not able to hold Peyton Talbot down here, I think then Talbot should be favored, right? So it's really, that's what you're betting on, Lima, his ability to hold Peyton Talbot down and advance to a position where he can, finish the fight, because it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. So I'm riding with it, man. I'm riding with you. I'm riding with Peyton Talbot, and I'm just gonna assume that he's done enough work in the get up game with the defensive wrestling at this point, after getting dominated in a one-sided fight that was just the same throughout every round. You have to just only work on that, because his striking is so good already. He doesn't really even need to work on his striking. He's so technical and so accurate, and I just think that his speed and power, it's better than Lima's at this level. I'm sorry. I mean, you watch the tape on Lima. He's a great fighter. He has actually a really good striking arsenal, but that slight speed and power advantage goes to Peyton Talbot for sure. So, and that's going to make a difference is what I'm kind of thinking, as long as he can, excuse me, keep it standing. So I'm going to bet on his work. I'm going to bet on the fact that he's learned from that last fight. And yeah, plus 160 is very, very valuable. So I might take a stab on that for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely wide in my opinion. I agree with that for sure. Let's move on to the next fight. Why not? Next fight of the main card, we've got Beneil Dariush taking on Renato Moicano. The line here, wow, it's come down a lot compared to the first booking. Minus 120 Moicano. I mean, I think Dariush should be slightly favored here, to be honest. I think that Moicano's always been a little bit overrated for me. He gets dominated by Makhachev. I'm not going to think about that fight, obviously. Benoit Saint Denis, that fight. I think if that fight didn't get stopped, he would have came back, Saint Denis, and won that fight. But he had a bad cut. Obviously, Moicano made that cut and looked incredible in round one. But I think, I think it wasn't as impressive as people make it seem. Turner had like PTSD in that fight from that Bobby Green fight. Didn't finish it in round one. And then it's just, I think he's a little fraudy. And I think going up against a guy like Dariush, who's just been in there so much, that fight against Sarukian, it was bad. Showed his chin was gone, but he's taken a long, long way off now. I'd like to think he's recovered. He's had some great wins in the past. I think Dariush can pull off the upset here. Muted.
I was a little surprised at the odds too. I thought that Beneil might be at least a pick. I expected at least minus 110. So I guess it's not as crazy, but as I'm making a scene. But I just think, yeah, man, Renato Moicano. I mean, the Islam fight, you can kind of throw it out the window. I was there for that as well. He got fucking destroyed, but obviously it's Islam. So what are you gonna do? The Benoit Saint Denis, I didn't see it live, but I've watched it back a couple times now, and yeah, I mean, there were moments in that second round. I think second round before the stoppage where you were like, oh shit, is he about to come back? And it was because Benoit Saint Denis was kind of, I don't know, just kind of letting Moicano do whatever he wants, and that's not a shot on him. But again, the Jalen Turner fight, we can kind of all agree as an MMA community that he shouldn't have won that fight. If he was fighting anybody with half a brain, he would not have won that fight, because Jalen Turner could have just tried to not get the highlight knockout and actually finish the fight, and he would have won because he had him dead to rights. So I don't know. The Drew Dober one back in 2024, obviously that's another one he was the underdog. But it's Drew Dober, and in 2024, you kind of knew at that point that his chin was fading a little bit, his durability was fading, everything, the pace was fading. So is it that impressive looking back? I don't know. It's tough. It's tough because at the same time, you look at Dariush, and I mean, the chin is gone, got finished in the first round back to back. But yes, that fight was 2023, December of 2023. So it has been a while since we've seen him. So man, I think if you're just telling me who's the better martial artist, if you're just putting Hanato and Beneil side to side, who's the better martial artist, I have to say Beneil Dariush, just because I think he's better at close range boxing. I think he does better against the fence. I think Moicano, yes, he has the tie clinch, he has the knees, but it takes him a while to get in there. I think he's a little stagnant on the feet sometimes. Beneil has a better rhythm to his striking, and then when it hits the ground, but Hanato, sometimes prefers to fight off of his back, and Beneil will always look for top position when he feels no threat. And he obviously, against Charles and Armand, the two most scary guys in the division, he kind of didn't feel as good about the going to the ground. But yeah, against Moicano, I think he might. And yeah, I think this price is pretty good value on Beneil Dariush, so I'm gonna pick him as well. But yeah, this is a card with a lot of under. We're agreeing on these, but I think the lines are somewhat crazy. I mean, am I wrong? I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think this line is a little bit off. I'm with you. I think you went Dariush, correct?
Yeah, Dariush.
Yeah, I think it's a little off. Again, a lot of weird lines. Let's go Dariush. I think he gets the upset here. Yeah. And I don't think the chin will really be a problem. I mean, it's Moicano. Next fight, we got Brandon Royval taking on Josh Van. I think Josh Van wins this fight and dominates. That's my bold take of the week. Although he's now a very slight favorite.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was underdog. Okay, he opened as
now. I think this is a really good fight for Joshua Van to enter his name into that upper echelon. People keep going back to that Charles Johnson fight, but he was looking good early. I think that as long as Van doesn't shoot or doesn't follow Royval to the ground, Van's gonna drop Royval in this fight, right?
Oh,
I mean, that's gonna happen. Royval, this dude gets dropped all the time. This is gonna happen. He just can't follow up and put himself in a stupid submission. That's what he can't do that. I think Van on the feet is just gonna cook him. I think we're going to see multiple knockdowns. I don't know if he gets a finish, possibly late, but I don't think so. I think Royval's super tough. He just happens to get dropped a lot. Just random knockdown. So I think Van's just going to just push right through. I mean, 15 minutes is not good for Royval. It's going to help Van out a lot. Although Van has incredible cardio in his own right, but we know Royval over 25 minutes. I mean, he's a different monster. But here, I think, I think Van's going to be able to put on a striking clinic, to be honest. I like Joshua Van to get this one done. I'll say decision, but there's going to be so many knockdowns. It's going to be funny. That's my opinion. I think he wins clearly.
Dude, the amount of times that Brandon Royval has been on the verge of defeat and just like somehow got back. I mean, you remember the Kai Kara-France one even? Got knocked down with like a brutal, was it a knee or something, or an elbow that caught him right on the butt, and he came back and did like a flying knee to Kai Kara-France and then knocked him out. It was fucking crazy, that fight. But I mean, it's so wide, the gap in striking between these two. I mean, I just saw Josh Van, another guy. I'm so happy. All these guys that I've seen in person, I'm talking about now, and he just fought like recently, but it was a fight that he dominated. He didn't take any damage. This short turnaround is not going to really phase him too much because he's a dog, man. And I mean, I was talking to my dad about it. He's a casual UFC fan. He watches when there's a big card on, and he knows the main guys. But Josh Van was the one on that card that stuck out to him. He was like, man, this guy's striking is really, really nasty. And he's right. This guy's striking is beautiful, man. When he gets in the pocket and into that flow state, I mean, it's like he just sees everything in slow motion. The way he just body, head, he'll mix it up downstairs, upstairs. I mean, he's so good. But the thing I do worry about, I wouldn't say that there's, no threat on the Royval side, because this guy is very unpredictable. The ground game is still a bit of a question for Josh Van. I'm not even worried about that Charles Johnson knockout at all. I know people like to talk about that dude. Charles Johnson is an outlier in that division. He's like the tallest dude in the division by a lot. And he fucking hit him right on the button. I mean, there was nothing you can do. Sometimes, look, I hate to say it, you get caught. Sometimes you get caught, and there's nothing you can do. Right on the button, Johnson hit him. But Josh Van did look good in that fight, as he always does. But yeah, I do worry somewhat about his wrestling. If Royval somehow is able to, because he's not a chain wrestler, but he just finds weird ways to get the fight to the ground. Even if Josh Van knocks him down and then falls into his guard and tries to finish him, and then Royval pulls off some weird, he's just very unpredictable. He'll pull a triangle out of nowhere. He'll, try to reverse position, get a sweep out of nowhere and get your back. Like, he's one of those guys. So I do worry about that a little bit. But ultimately, no, you said it. 3 rounds favors Josh Van. I think he can take that first round to get his reads, but I mean, at the same time, do a lot of damage because that's the pace that he's going to be dealing with. Royval damage is just kind of inevitable on both sides. So, but yeah, I just think that Josh Van is the much cleaner striker, and this is a perfect fight for him, like you said, to get into that upper echelon, make a real name for himself, and eventually challenge for, contender spots in the title. Maybe this guy is 23 years old, 2001 birthday, man. He's nasty. He's got a bright future for sure.
Super bright. FBA saying Royval will keep the gate. He's gonna have more volume and push the pace. Van won't be able to go forward. I mean, Van, not only is he super tough, but the striking level is just completely different. Yeah, Royval
does. It's a good point. It is a good point, FBA, because Royval, like, you got to respect his pace and pressure. You do have to respect it because, like, even
against a guy like Joshua Van, Van can
like Josh Van, he backs up in that first round. Like, that's the round I'm worried about. And if it does go to decision, I could see a close one. I could definitely see a.
How was round one the round where you think he could get finished in round
one? No, not finished. But I'm saying, no, I do not worry about Josh Van getting finished in this fight. Not on the feet, at least. No. But I'm saying there's been times in the past where he'll take the first round to kind of make reads like Petr Yan does, and his volume just isn't at the level later in the fight. So there's something to be said about the fact that if Royval is aggressive early, if he's in his face from the jump and wins that round one convincingly, then Josh Van is kind of like, okay, well, now I'm in catch up, and then we could see.
Well, that's happened to Josh Van in multiple fights where he drops round one and comes back and wins.
That's what I'm saying.
This is what I want to. I think the pace and the pressure of Royval, I think he gets hit a lot. And I think there is a world where Royval probably wins round one just because he's confusing Josh Van with the amount of volume. But I think Van's going to start, even though we know Royval for having this insane pace. And I don't think he's not going to have this insane pace. I think he's not going to stop for 15 minutes. But I think the fact that Van's going to be there and he's also going to be able to keep up the same level of cardio, he's going to be able to start finding his shots. Royval, not the best striking defense. And he's going to hurt him multiple times, I think. So I like Joshua Van to win this one. I'll say gets a few knockdowns and wins a decision. Don't know if he gets the finish, but I think he wins the fight for sure. Co-main event time, Alexandre Pantoja taking on Kai Kara-France. I see a lot of people going underdog in Kai Kara-France, and I kind of want to think about it a bit more. I think it's weird because we know Pantoja, he's a sloppy guy, but he kind of reminds me of Dricus du Plessis. He's just super strong, and he's really good everywhere at this point. Like, his striking's becoming really good. I think Pantoja probably wins this fight just because although we've seen him late in the fight going tired out of his mind, I mean, I think his grappling is just some of the best I've ever seen. I mean, it's just so fucking elite. And if he gets Kai Kara's back once, even though Kai Kara-France is very grizzled everywhere, I do feel that Pantoja he's just so fucking elite. And Pantoja's at a point in his career where he's not just relying on his grappling and just going forward and going at you. This guy's got good striking now. I mean, he hurt Kai Asakura on the feet in his last fight. I think that he's only improving despite being 35 at flyweight. And I think he's gonna mix it up, the grappling with the striking. And I don't know how he wins, but I think he just gets it done. But when it comes to the betting line, minus 250. I'd say that's fair. What do you think?
Hey, before I give my words on this one, can y'all see that? Me and the GOAT. That's just goes to show you my pick before. I'm very biased in this one. I do not want to see Kai Kara-France win this fight. This guy, man, I remember the fight against was it Alex Perez. Dude, the way he ran across the octagon with no fear. Yes, this is 2022. but ran across the octagon, no fear, walked his ass down, jumped on his back, and submitted him in like 2 minutes, not even. It was so impressive. And I'm not, expecting the same level of physicality as we've seen in the past, but I know that dog is in there with this guy. I mean, he is one of the grittiest fighters on the roster. I mean, you can just see it in every single fight. He digs so deep. And I don't even know if he'll have to here, because I am just not high on Kai Kara France's grappling at all. I mean, yes, everybody in City Kickboxing has good, at least passable takedown defense and wrestling defense. But Pantoja is not a wrestler, man. This guy is a jiu-jitsu specialist. He will get to your back if he feels he has a clear advantage. Like, yes, Brandon Royval is such a good scrambler that he doesn't give you those chances as much. Brandon Moreno, kind of the same situation. I don't get that feeling from Kai Kara France that once he gets in trouble on the ground, he's going to be able to get himself out. I don't. The only thing I'm very worried about in this fight is the power, because I mean, I've made this mistake before. I was so confident in Steve Erceg to beat Kai Kara France.
I was too.
Man, he put his ass out. And yes, it was another one.
Wait, what?
It was another,
What?
I'm saying he put Steve Erceg's ass out.
What? What are you talking
Kai
about?
Kara France.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Pantoja. I was like, what?
No. The power of Kai Kara France is what scares me here, because he's got the power advantage. I think that's pretty clear. I mean, Pantoja's got the work rate, the cardio, the experience in these 5-round fights, the belt, there's the confidence that comes with that, but the power, man. Kai Kara France packs a real punch. And we've seen it against Garbrandt, tapped him on the chin, put him out. Saw it against Erceg. Again, it was a really clean shot, but Erceg just walked into that one. And man, that's what scares me. I do see a path for Kai to knock him out, just because of how Pantoja fights. He doesn't shy away from the war. He doesn't shy away from those big shots. He got hit a lot against Brandon Moreno. He got hit a lot against Brandon Royval, and he just walked through it. So I do worry about that a little bit, but my bias is coming into play big time. I just love Pantoja, man. I just love him so much. I've been a fan of his ever since, I started watching him back into like the pandemic, early pandemic, when he didn't have the belt. He was on the Helwani show saying, I just want my chance. And he got that chance, and he never looked back. So I'm a ride with Pantoja, man, to just dog it out once again. If not, I think he definitely is live for a submission, but at the same time, Kara France is definitely live for that knockout. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one, but I'm a roll with the champ.
I like Pantoja. I think he's gonna mix it up. Mikhail saying Pantoja's physicality is crazy, but if it stays standing, Pantoja just can't win. I mean, he just mixes it up constantly. So I think he's gonna be able to mix it up. I think Kai Kara is gonna start getting kind of scared and reluctant with the amount of takedowns that Pantoja's shooting. And yeah, I think we see Pantoja get it done. Don't know how, but I think he wins. Crazy physicality. You're definitely right about that. Main event, Ilia Topuria, Charles Oliveira. Before we get into it, if you guys want to sign up, get all of our bets, just click the link in the description of this video. You'll see everything Counterpunch. Just click it. Sign up. I'm not saying just sign up to support us. I'm saying sign up if you want to make real money, because I think it's been almost over 60 units in the past 6 or 7 UFC cards, which is just fucking insane. We've been cooking. So if you want to make money, come join. Main event, Ilia, Charles. I mean, I want to sit here and break this one down, and I think Ilia is going to fucking spark him early. Round 1, most likely. Maybe it gets to round 2. I think this is, I just think this is, I think Topuria is at 155 is going to hit so fucking hard. It's going to be crazy. We've already seen that Oliveira gets dropped a lot. And Topuria isn't Justin Gaethje, He's not going to fall into a dumb trap and get his back taken. He's so calculated. He's so smart. And I just think he hits hard as fuck. He's amazing everywhere. Amazing. He's an incredible grappler, one of the best boxers we've ever seen in the sport. I think Ilia Topuria is just, I think it's just on a different level here. Simple as that. I think Topuria washes him early. I haven't looked at the props, the round props here, because I was going to do that later. Under 1.5 lined at plus 135. I think that's definitely interesting. Under 2.5 minus 155. I think that's super interesting. I think Topuria sparks him early. Topuria round 1. What is Topuria round? Topuria round 1. Yeah, plus 220. Topuria round 1, round 2, you'll probably find it at like plus 150, plus 200. I think that's a good bet right there. I think Topuria finished this one early, folks. What do you got wrong?
Yeah, man, it's tough to pick against. How can you really confidently pick against him after what he just did to two of the three best featherweights of all time? I mean, he just kind of stole their legacies in like the matter of months. It was insane. But that was at featherweight. We have to acknowledge this is a different weight class. He's taken the step up. We're yet to find out what his, size will be at this division, how he fills out to lightweight. And I'm curious about that for sure. I think that Charles, he's dangerous because he's Charles, man. I mean, we've seen what he's done to the past. Even when he has been down and out, in certain fights, he's just able to find a way to turn the tables, and he's done it time and time again. But man, it's hard to see that happening here, especially because I mean, some of those guys that he was beating, the likes of Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, even Justin Gaethje, especially no ground game, zero ground game for real. I mean, and I'm not saying wrestling, not zero wrestling, but zero jiu-jitsu. I mean, he's such a better grappler than those guys, and that definitely helped him out in those matchups. And I mean, yes, he almost had that sub on Arman Sarukian as well, but that's Charles. I mean, he's always going to chase that sub, but will he even be given that chance here? Because Ilya is so technical, and he has zero fear in his heart of anyone. And he's just going to walk Charles Oliveira down. And I'm not, going to sit here and say that the weight won't make a difference and the weight change is going to be easy. But I mean, Charles always just kind of accepts that pressure sometimes. I mean, he accepted it against Poirier. He got knocked down. It was different against Chandler. I feel like he just got clipped, and then from there he was just on his back. But I mean, if this at any point in those first couple rounds, if he gets put on his back, I mean, it's tough to see him getting back up because Ilya does have the ground game. He does have the offensive wrestling to be able to put pressure. And it's not like we haven't seen Charles under some pressure on the ground. I mean, it is Islam, but he got him down and did not look back once he got in that top position, was able to transition to the head and arm, and then got Charles up out of there. I'm not saying that Ilya is an Islam level grappler, but he's certainly better than those other guys that Charles beaten. So at this stage in Charles' career, man, at this stage in Ilya's career, it's just really hard to pick. And that's why the odds are what they are, man, because this is his lightweight debut. This is one of the top guys in the division, but he's still minus 400. Why is that? It's because he hasn't really given you a reason to bet against him. He has the ground game. He has elite stand-up, elite stand-up. And yeah, I think it's just going to be too much for Charles Oliveira. As much as I would love that story, it would be one of the biggest upsets, honestly, in a while. I feel like nobody is actually expecting Charles to win this fight. So if he did, it would really be cool to see. But I can't see it, man. I think Ilya, this is a really nice matchup, nice way to welcome him to the lightweight division with a good matchup, but a winnable matchup, and one that I think he will
win. Before we wrap this up, I want to read some comments here. Carlos saying El Matador lock of the week. I think that's kind of fair. Adam saying came late. Who you got in the Delgado fight? That is one I need to look into a little bit more. I need to look into it a little bit more. But I do feel like the line is a little bit off. I don't see a world where Delgado should be minus 170. I think Emil puts an insane pace on. So we'll see. I'm not saying Emil's a lock, nowhere near. I just want to look into it a bit more. So, yeah, I'll probably be releasing the majority of my bets within the next few days. So if you want to come sign up and take a look, link in the description of this. We've been crushing it. FBA saying, how many videos will be posted this week? It's a very, very busy week for myself, but we're going to try to get some out. Probably first one will come tomorrow if you're talking about our short form content. So stay tuned.
We will do a parlay stream this week. What you think?
Oh, yeah. Come on. Of course. Parlay stream. I know we've said that before, but it is International Fight Week. So we kind of
we got to do one for this week. We got
to. Either Thursday or Friday. We shall see. We'll keep you guys updated, of course, on our story. Triad saying, look who's back. The Moneymakers. Damn right. We're back. It's been a minute. 3 weeks? But we're here.
Amen.
FBA saying everyone is writing off Charles. Can use calf kicks because Ilya doesn't check any. And Charles is also easily the most dangerous fighter Ilya has fought. I mean, it's easier than saying, oh, he doesn't check this and Charles can capitalize because he can kick well. Ilya's physicality is off the charts. His pace and pressure. I know we know him for being elite with his striking and his wrestling, but this guy doesn't get tired. This guy's really, really good everywhere. And I feel that, yes, Charles is probably easily the most dangerous fighter he's fought. But I also think that Charles is so fucking hittable that.
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry. That's where the difference is right there. The striking. It's not even like Justin Gaethje is not a clean striker by any means. Michael Chandler is not a clean striker by any means. Those guys were getting clipped by Charles. Justin said Charles hits the hardest of anyone hit. Bro, Ilya is not going to give him those chances. His chin is going to be tucked at all times. He's going to be coming forward, and he's going to put Charles on his ass probably with a hook or something like that. That's just how he operates. He is not one that gives you those same opportunities. And Charles, his chin is there to be hit. So yeah, that's where the difference is in this one.
Oliveira has really good straight punches and can catch Ilya. I mean, it's deeper than that. Ilya is so clean and fast. I think that he's got a big speed advantage here as well. And I think you can think about it that way, but I just think Charles's striking defense is just not there. Yes, he's a very solid shoot the box fighter, but that doesn't include the best technical defense when it comes to guarding certain strikes. So I think Ilia Topuria is so fucking smart, and I think that's going to be the main thing that wins this fight. NCAA saying, glad you guys are back. Thank you very much. We're glad to be back as well. Olive's choked out the last guy. They said that hits like a truck. Who are we talking about? I mean, that's different. If we're talking about Gaethje is no Ilia Topuria, my friend. There's a reason this line is what it is. Topuria almost minus 500 now. He is a special fighter. Adam saying Payton fight. I'm leaning Payton. We think it's a very, very close fight, but Lima should not be above minus 200. I think Payton might be a bet. If you want to look into all of our breakdowns, we did it all in this video. But for now, Rohan and I got to do the dash. Rohan's at fucking work doing this. I got to go to work. So we got to go do that. Any final words?
Hey, man, it'll be a fun fight. International Fight Week. The card is nice. We'll look out for more content along the week as well. We'll definitely come back with a parlay stream, Instagram content all week. Join the Discord. This man is on a heater. Oh, wrong way. This man to my left is on a heater, bro. Who do you? Sung Young? Say his name?
Oh my God. That was a winner.
There you go, baby. Hey, if you weren't on that, this boy was. So hop in the Discord and make you some money. But that's all I got.
Shout out to my boy Rohan for the shout out. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. We'll see you either Thursday or Friday. And oh my God, the parlays are going to be fucking fun this week. So stay tuned. But for now, it's been Counterpunch Podcast.